So guys, we got a full breakdown of what has happened overnight. This is one of the biggest bombshell breaking news to start off the year. Everybody, Trump has just captured the Venezuelan president Maduro. He said, while we have Maduro, the United States of America will run Venezuela till they can have a fair, judicious transition of power. The United States is going to run Venezuela. And not only that, we're also going to start running their oil production. And guys, I'm going to get into the big details of this because I promise you, you would never have imagined what is in Venezuela right now when it comes to their oil. They have the largest, everybody, the largest oil reserves in the world, okay? So not only did we take out their entire leadership team in Venezuela, but we also are going to be taking out a lot of their oil. And again, from what they've said, from what President Trump has said, they have stolen a lot of oil, and that we're going to get that all back. We're going to go into Venezuela. We're going to run their oil operations, and then Venezuela will win and the United States of America will win. And again, hear me, guys. Venezuela has the largest oil deposits in the world by far. I'm going to show you a chart in a moment, because just remember, they've been sending a lot of drugs into the United States. I'm going to get into the details, guys, because I just can't, this is some of the biggest bombshell breaking news we have ever said on this channel. There's no American casualties during the capture of Venezuela, of Maduro from Venezuela. Russia, China, and Iran are supposed to be Venezuela's top supporters. They've done nothing right now. Donald Trump, President Trump, had just basically backed them off and captured Maduro in one night. There was 150 aircraft that executed the operation. And this is the thing, guys, I'm telling you, Trump has come out and said that when it comes to the safety of America, nobody in the world is safe. If anybody in the world is threatening the safety and livelihoods of Americans, he said, we will go to your country and we will get you. He said, there is nobody that is safe from American justice. Guys, President Trump has just put the whole world on notice. Do not mess with the United States of America. They sent 150 aircraft that executed this operation. Vice President J.D. Vance has already come out in support. Bondi in support. Elon Musk has come out in support and said the president offered multiple off-ramps, but was very clear throughout this process. The drug trafficking must stop. The stolen oil must be returned to the United States. Maduro is the newest person to find out that President Trump means what he says. And again, this is a public service announcement from J.D. Vance, our vice president. To everybody that is saying this was illegal, Maduro has multiple indictments in the United States for narco-terrorism. You don't get to avoid justice for drug trafficking in the United States because you live in a palace in Caracas. Pete Hegseth said that Maduro messed around and found out. China just gave its take on the matter in saying that the United States is exhibiting hegemonic behavior, and what the U.S. did is a violation of international law and a direct threat to global peace and security. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, everybody. Because again, this is one of the most boldest plays the world has ever seen in the 20th century, taken by our President Trump to go into another country and take the president of another country who, again, they've been sending a ton of drugs, killing tens of thousands of Americans, hundreds of thousands of Americans. Trump said it's going to stop now. Not only that, again, we're dealing with the New York Times has already put out a post reporting that saying that President Trump's strike on Venezuela and the capture of Maduro is illegal. I'm going to show you their whole cover, guys. I'm telling you, this is the biggest news. We've got all the details for you in a moment, and I'm telling you, it has a lot to do with oil. We already have it again, guys, and I don't even know if we're going to get to this today, but more breaking news over the Somalis, fraud, waste, abuse, stealing from American taxpayers. We have death threats against Elon Musk now from people in the Somali group. Guys, as we root out the waste, fraud, and abuse, as we dig into the deep state, as we go around and show everybody that we will have America First policies, this is getting as real as you could ever imagine. I promise you, nobody in their wildest dreams thought that the President of the United States would go and capture another president from another country the second day into the new year. And after all this with Venezuela, Trump has come out and said that Mexico is next. He said Mexico is being run by the cartels. Drugs have flown into the United States, killing too many Americans, and they will have to answer for that. President Trump is putting everybody on notice, everybody. This is insanely big. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I can't even imagine we're reporting this, but this is huge. If you appreciate this, hit the thumbs up like button, guys. We're going to get into some big details. We're going to go over all the full details of how everything was executed, the 150 aircraft, President Trump announcing that the United States of America will run the country of Venezuela. We will run their oil operations. Their oil operations deposits are the largest in the entire world by far. Wow, guys. Want to say thank you to everybody who's supporting the channel. Thank you to everybody who has helped in our giving. We could not do this without you. Thank you to Nancy Licata, Elaine Demeen, OG of the channel. Show them some love in the chat. Papa Don, say God is good all the time. Show Papa Don some love in the chat, everybody. So much to go over. Want to say thank you to everybody that is a member of the channel. If you're not a part of the family yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We want to take care of you every day with the breaking news. And again, we're going to get into the nitty gritty, guys, but this is as big as it gets, okay? This is a huge highlight from the already press conference that's happened with President of the United States over the United States running Venezuela and what has happened. Listen to this.
We've knocked out 97% of the drugs coming in by sea. 90%. Each boat kills on average, 25,000 people. We knocked out 97%. And those drugs mostly come from a place called Venezuela. We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country. Proper transition can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it, essentially, until such time as a proper transition can take place.
Guys, do you hear this? This is some of the biggest breaking news ever, guys. Oh my goodness. Again, Trump posted, and remember, all this stuff that's happening, we went in, we captured another country's president. They will face justice here in the United States, indictments for narco-terrorism. Remember when Joe Biden posted and said Trump talks tough on Venezuela, but admires thugs and dictators like Maduro? As president, I will stand with the Venezuelan people for democracy. Well, guess what? You never did anything. And now President Trump has actually captured the Venezuelan president and is gonna hold him accountable. This is insane, everybody. Look at this post by President Trump of Maduro, okay? And what's even crazier, again, Elon Musk comes out in full support of President Trump, Marco Rubio, and Pete Hegseth, geopolitical takedown and the capture of Nicolas Maduro's regime. He said, now for the find out part of FAFO. Again, this team right here, everybody, go ahead and throw Elon Musk in there, because this is a team of men that is not playing around. America first, all day, every day. Nothing's going to change with that. Everybody in the world is going to know that that whenever you send drugs into the United States, you're going to have a big problem on your hands. I wanted to show you this, guys. So if you look at the top 10 countries oil reserves in the world, okay? Look where Venezuela is at. Number one, 303 billion barrels, okay? Look where the United States is at. We're in 10th place, okay? So we just took over Venezuela. You heard Trump just say, we are going to run the country of Venezuela. Guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, this is insane. I can't even believe we're reporting all this. But Venezuela has the largest proven oil reserves in the world. Where is the money it's at? It's in what they call black gold, okay? And the entire media, left-wing media, is losing it right now. Pam Bondi, everybody, Kash Patel has come out. New York Times has already released an article saying that Donald Trump's attack on Venezuela is illegal and unwise. I'm telling you, everybody, it's all in the details. What's happened? What's going to happen? Russia, China, and Iran are Venezuela's largest supporters, okay? They have said only words. We have it where Xi Jinping, I want to show you this, guys, because this is big. Xi Jinping has come out. He's the the leader of the China Communist Party, has said that the capture and seizure of Venezuelan's president, calling it hegemonic behavior, a violation of international law, and a direct threat to global peace and security. I want to get into some of the details right here, guys, because I'm telling you, I would never have imagined that this would have happened 2 days into the new year. But listen to this.
And Nicole, let me just go over here and so our viewers remember, we have captured a number of dictators throughout history. Now, you start in March of 2003, the U.S. went to war, Operation Iraqi Freedom, an invasion into Iraq to free the Iraqi people. And then by late November, up north of Tikrit, Saddam Hussein was captured. It wasn't without, obviously, a long war. That was less the law enforcement operation that we're seeing this morning in a full military operation. But then back in December of 1989, you saw that Manuel Noriega, leader there in Panama, and a narco trafficker was captured alive. It wasn't without some casualties, more than 20 of our U.S. service members, but he was ultimately prosecuted on narco trafficking and money laundering charges and sentenced to 40 years in prison. And then
And I just want to reiterate, guys, no American lives were lost. There was 150 aircraft that were coordinating the effort to go into Venezuela airspace, dismantle the Venezuelan military, allow the helicopter to come in to then capture Maduro. Guys, again, you cannot, this is insane how big of an operation this was. And they've been planning this for a long time. It's not the first time that we've done it. This has happened before in the past where we've dealt with people, these dictators that have 100% hated America and tried to destroy America through their drugs, through their cartels. Trump is not the first person to do it, but Trump said, do not mess around. Stop sending drug boats into the United States. We blew them up, and now we're showing you the history, guys. So to all the people out there, quit acting like Trump is doing something that hasn't been done before, and just know that Trump is doing all this in the name of America first, because we have to stop the dying of American citizens.
Known one going back to 1983 under President Ronald Reagan, the effort capturing alive Hudson Austin, the leader there in Grenada, also not a clean operation. And so when you sort of put this in some sort of historical context, and we don't yet know the details, we'll learn at 11 a.m., and we don't know how the governance of who will take over. Will it be Maria Machado or others in Venezuela? Will Venezuela cease to be a narco-terror state? That's the hope, and clearly the the goal of the administration. But as history plays out, this one is possibly going to go down as one of the most unique and successful operations tackling such a monumental task of eradicating the threat of narcotics, which you full well know, Dr. Sapphire, about the dangers that these drugs bring to the U.S., particularly young people.
Yeah, and as we start.
And I want to show you this again too, everybody. This is the smuggler's routes, okay? Don't act, for all those people out there that think this is wrong, don't act and put these people above American citizens' lives that have been lost. We have lost hundreds of thousands of Americans' lives to these stupid drugs that have been smuggled in through the routes of Venezuela, okay? Think back to those American lives that were lost because of those drugs. Trump just stopped it. And not only that, he said we are going to run Venezuela till they have a person who is going to be a good leader, who's not going to just come in and cause more chaos and allow the cartels to run the country. Somebody pointed out and said George W. Bush needed 170,000 troops that led to over 4,400 U.S. military casualties in an 8-year war in order to capture Saddam Hussein. President Trump captured Nicolas Maduro while we were sleeping overnight with 0 casualties. Marco Rubio reposted by Elon Musk, said Maduro is not the president of Venezuela and his regime is not the legitimate government. Maduro is the head of the Cartel de los Solos, a narco-terrorist organization which has taken possession of a country, and he is under indictment for pushing drugs into the United States. Pam Bondi came out and said Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores have been indicted in the Southern District of New York. Maduro has been charged with narco-terrorism, conspiracy, cocaine importation conspiracy, possession of machine guns and destructive devices, and conspiracy to process machine guns and destructive devices against the United States. They will soon face the full wrath of American justice on American soil in American courts. On behalf of the entire DOJ, I would like to thank President Trump for having the courage to demand accountability on behalf of the American people, and a huge thank you to our brave military who conducted the incredible and highly successful mission to capture these 2 alleged international narco traffickers.
Seeing specifically Democratic members of Congress coming out and criticizing the president, questioning the legality of this. While I can't necessarily attest to that, it's important to remind people that there was a humanitarian crisis for the Venezuelan people under the reign of Nicolas Maduro after Hugo Chavez, essentially 25 years of socialism, which drove the country into the ground. These people have been living in poverty. But here, from a United States standpoint, Venezuela and their role in the drug trafficking throughout the world, but specifically to our country, it's a national security issue here. And
yes,
with over 1 million people having died from these drug overdoses.
Right there, everybody. I'm going to play it again because I don't want to hear somebody who comes out and says this was so wrong. This is think about the American lives that were lost. And if you appreciate what we're doing, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, listen to this again. How many American lives?
In poverty. But here, from a United States standpoint, Venezuela and their role in the drug trafficking throughout the world, but specifically to our country, it's a national security issue here. And with over 1 million people having died from these drug overdoses, President Trump has made it clear that he is tackling narco-terrorism and he is putting America first. And part of that is you have to dismantle the Maduro regime. They need to face trial. They were indicted in 2020 for their role in narco-terrorism, and President Trump is just continuing to make good on what he has said. He was indicted. President Biden then went into the White House and unfortunately dismantled a lot of the pressure that President Trump put on the Maduro regime. And now President Trump, back in office, is saying, we're not negotiating with you, and this is what's going to happen. And he did it. And just like Operation Midnight Hammer, what we saw in Iran, attack on the nuclear supplies there, this was such a swift and incredible military operation. No American lives were lost. It happened in the matter of a couple of hours, resulted in the capture of Maduro and his wife, already on their way back to the United States to stand trial. This is what happens when you are a civilized nation. You hold people accountable.
Yeah. Maduro and his wife are currently in U.S. custody, and we probably could expect them to actually be in the United States at this point. It's only been a couple of hours, 4 or 5 hours since the raid occurred. And obviously, you know, looking forward at what the domestic politics are going to be, it's going to be very interesting to watch. I thought it was interesting talking to Brett Baer earlier about how, you know, Democrats can complain about this and raise totally legitimate points about whether or not you have to go to Congress to get authorization. I don't think you do for something like this, but it's a perfectly legitimate argument to be had. But if you...
I want you to know this, everybody, that if they would have went to Congress and asked, this would have leaked. Somebody would have said something. It would have been an absolute bloodfest there in Venezuela, because we've got, guys, don't think that there's not traitors in Congress. Don't think that there's not traitors that are in Washington, D.C. It is 100%. They went after somebody who was terrorizing the United States through the drug cartels. True Trustler, let's go with the super chat. Says, sounds like Pam Bonnie's back on board. She better be. Y'all show True Trustler some love in the chat. President Trump says Colombia President Petro needs to watch his butt. Guys, I'm telling you, if you are around the United States, if you are allowing drugs into our country, if you're part of the problem, we will hold you accountable. Kim Jordan, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Show Kim some love in the chat, everybody. We also have it, again, this is just facts. Democrats always side with other countries over America. They sided with Iran, with Haiti, with China, Mexico, Canada, Somalia, and now they're siding with Venezuela. Like, it's no matter what Trump does, the Democrats are always siding on the opposite side. Russia is now calling for the United States to release Maduro. Fat chance of that happening. There's no way we send 150 aircraft to go in and seize Maduro in this entire operation, and they think that we're just going to hand them over, hand them back. You got to be kidding me. Maduro will pretty much stand trial in America. He will be found guilty, and he will spend the rest of his life in American jail. And it's all thanks to these four men right here. J.D. Vance, President 48, President Trump, Marco Rubio, and Pete Hegseth. And I want to show you this again too, because this is to me. Guys, take it for it what you will. But remember, you just heard Trump say that we are going to go in and we are going to run Venezuela. Okay? Until they get basically a Democratic leader who's going to run the country right. This is a chart from Grok, from the AI, showing you that the number one country in the world with proven reserves of billions of barrels is Venezuela. Mostly heavy oil in the Orinoco Belt, largest globally, but extraction challenged by economics and sanctions, okay? The next one is the Saudis in Saudi Arabia, then Iran, then Canada, that's interesting, Iraq, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and then Russia, and then Libya, and then the United States. Okay, so I just want to show you this again too, because don't think that there's not an economic plan that's on that Trump has up his sleeve in order to take this, make sure that America wins. And he said it too. He said, look, America's going to win because of this, and Venezuela is going to win because of this. Happy to Uroha said, yeehaw, yay, y'all, Venezuela, 51st state. Hey, there you go. What do you think, guys? Venezuela, the 51st state? These are the facts, okay? Because again, as soon as Trump started talking about the oil, I knew there was something that I wanted to show y'all, that again, Venezuela has the largest proven oil reserves in the world, okay? This is nuts.
As you have those politics playing out alongside a trial where we are talking about the incredible damage that the drug cartels have done to the United States, I think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be a political winner for Democrats to complain about
with
this.
Maduro.
The other thing that I think is interesting is when you go back to the wall, Griff, that you pointed out with
Sorry, got to get past that.
Was because of his opposition to foreign entanglements that don't have an immediate America first implication. And he successfully did that, and then, of course, successfully took over the presidency. I think partly because of his credibility on that issue, and I think that he has successfully made the argument that figuring out a way to make Mexico a legitimate partner of the United States and South America and Central America, the rest of Central America, starting with a wall, stopping the invasion across our border. All of those things are key to his America First agenda. And
I want to show you this, guys. It's in a different chart. But remember, Trump has already called out 2 more countries and said, hey, you've got Colombia and you got Mexico, that he said, y'all better get your butts in line because you're next. Guys, holy crap. Guys, this is insane what we are saying. You're seeing right here that Trump is, what we told you, Trump said the United States is going to run Venezuela. Venezuela, in this chart, you can see, has the largest oil reserves in the world, okay? There's some more details that we're finding out behind the scenes as this story is breaking. Guys, we are live. We're showing you exactly what's happening as it's happening, as we're getting updates. Because again, too, Venezuela is, for all intents and purposes right now, it's our 51st state that we are running, and we're going to run the oil down there. We're going to start running their operations. Trump said we already have a lot of people in the United States that are going to be spending billions of dollars to start new operations in Venezuela to start their oil production, to start getting more oil production, and then bringing it back to the United States of America. Listen to this.
Jack Posobiec joins us by phone. Jack, you're a naval intelligence officer. Intelligence here, at least on the strike, had to be pretty damn good, right? They knew exactly where he was, exactly how to get him, and extract him, sir.
Steve, as of 0400 Eastern Standard Time, every single world leader who is an adversary of the United States was suddenly woken up by the head of their security detail saying, sir, you might want to put on the television. Because this just showed them that no matter where you are, no matter how secure you think you are, no matter how safe you think your defense is, your security is, the United States of America and the United States military has the capability to reach out in the middle of the night and get you, your family, and everyone around you with the flick of the snap of President Trump's fingers. And when President Trump says go, that is exactly what the United States military does. And Steve, I know you and I were talking about this, the 15,000 U.S. Navy sailors that were parked there off the coast of Venezuela throughout New Year's, throughout Christmas, saying it looks like there's an operation imminent. A lot of people talked about this, and now we see that this is a culmination of those operations. And we know that a variety of operations were given to President Trump, and this is the one that he ultimately went with. One of the things that I'm looking at right now, obviously you mentioned earlier, of course, what will be the status of those massive oil reserves in Venezuela, those untapped oil reserves, some of the largest in the hemisphere between them and Canada. And then, of course, what comes of the regime? Are we seeing full-on regime change, or are we simply seeing a removal of Maduro? Of course, all of this is going to be playing out in the coming days, weeks, and months.
Yeah. All right, everybody. I told you it was going to hit it. This is going to be, I promise you, we're saying it here first, this is going to be the leftist Democrats' talking point. That they're going to say that the goal of the U.S. attack is to take possession of Venezuela's oil and minerals. Everybody's going to be saying it. It kind of is what it is. And even Trump said that they have done a terrible job of being able to get their oil out and sold. So we captured their president, who's basically been sending drugs into the United States. We are going to take over their country and run the Venezuelan government until they put in a leader that is going to be democratic and treat their people right. Do you guys, again, I don't know if like the weight is, if it has hit you like it's hit me. We just took over another country. President Donald J. Trump just took over another country. Holy guys, if you appreciate this, hit the thumbs up like button. And a lot of people are saying, what do you think, Joel? What do you think? I'm telling you this. You try to come up against the United States and you are one of the main routes for drugs that are killing Americans. Well, you just found out what happens. Do I agree with that? 100%. Don't send drugs into our country to kill Americans, to kill our kids, to kill people. You facilitated this. Trump warned you, said stop sending drugs into our country. We blew up narco boats. They still didn't stop. So we took it to the next level. That's what it means when you have a president who has a backbone of steel, who's going to say, you mess around with us, doesn't matter where you're at in the world. Doesn't matter how many guards you have in the world. Doesn't matter what palace you're living in. We will come and get your butt and hold you accountable. They sent 150 aircraft comprised of F-22s and all types of military, just the highest level. He was captured by Delta, I think it's called Delta Force team, the most elite team in our entire military. And this is putting the whole world on notice. Do not mess with the United States of America.
For our troops, for our special operators, Navy, Fleet, Marines, just a magnificent day. But you talk about hemispheric defense, and you talk about what's happening in Iran, and between America First, interventionists. I mean, put in perspective right now as MAGA wakes up to this and sees a magnificent military operation. And folks, I'm going to tell you, if you look at the 2 expeditionary operations we've had from mid-July with the ending of the 12-day war so dramatically, and then the dramatic extraction of Maduro and his wife, and now they're sitting on the Iwo Jima right now, probably in the captain's cabin. Pretty extraordinary. But what about the bigger picture here? Particularly, Eric Prince had been on here. You have been on here for over a year talking about this. We didn't get the bad hombres. So it looks like a very specific decision was made not to take out some of the worst elements of his regime. How do you think this plays out?
Okay, I just want to give you some breaking news, guys, because Trump just said that we are looking at options of putting boots on the ground in Venezuela to make sure that they comply. Okay, this is big news. Trump just said that basically we're going to send some military to Venezuela to make sure that they comply and that we don't have any more trouble. And he said if we have to send in a second wave of attack, we are willing and prepared to. All this is happening right now, guys. All breaking news.
Well, I think that it's, personally, I think that it seems to be, to me, and this is just my analysis, that the strategy is remove Maduro, but the rest of the regime stays in place. And hopefully then they get a more pliant regime, a regime that is more willing to cut these deals with the United States, return those oil flows back into the United States, into the world energy supply, but with the corollary being that you will cut ties with China and Iran and push them out, because Venezuela has been the base of operations for China, Iran, and Russia. So it's been the base of operations for Chinese intelligence, Russian intelligence, and so many Chinese commercial operations, which are spreading throughout the Caribbean. The People's Republic of China is taking over the Caribbean Sea and even elements of the Gulf of America. And people need to understand that, from the Panama Canal all the way up. And Venezuela has been, as well as Cuba, have been their key benefactors. So I wouldn't be, by the way, I would not be surprised if the Cubans are waking up right now saying, get President Trump on the phone, because we don't want to talk to that Rubio guy.
Look, guys, we're going to get Trump where he's spoken on the phone in just a moment. But President Trump has just came out and said again, We will make Venezuela great again. God, gee. Oh my goodness. Jim Barbado, let's go, brother, with the super chat. I love it. Let's go. Show our brother Jim some love in the chat. Oh my goodness. So Iran has condemned the U.S. attack on Venezuela. China has condemned the U.S. attack on Venezuela. Russia has condemned the attack on Venezuela and says that we need to release. Israel has welcomed the United States military action in Venezuela and supports us. So there you go.
The narco-terrorism part too. I mean, it's a crossroads. Obviously, the fentanyl comes from China, but the CCP had their military delegation there yesterday, right? I mean, it couldn't have been a better calling card for President Trump to say, "Hey, look, we got our eyeball on you. We know exactly what you're doing," and they dropped this dime on these guys when they're there. But also the narco-terrorism part. You know, Colombia today, the president's going nuts. He's not in a good place. The Cubans are not in a good place. So is this part of overall hemispheric defense, and we're going to clean up this mess in Latin America, or is this just is this the neocons talking him into it, sir?
Well, look, of course, the neocons have always supported these types of operations. I'm sure the neocons wanted to go further, and we've got a huge special up right now at Human Events talking all about what the neocons did in Iraq, Syria, in Ukraine, what they've done in Afghanistan, and then the 20 years of trying to import democracy on these places. It doesn't work. It simply doesn't work.
No.
However, it seems that Trump, and if you go back to the strategy document, go back to the strategy document that was put out, they talked about hemispheric defense. Remember, the Monroe Doctrine with the Trump corollary. The Monroe Doctrine with the Trump corollary that we will clean up the mess. This is what President Trump is executing on. He was very public about this. And so the question that I have looking forward when we're talking about these narco-terrorist syndicates is, are they going to hit the Mexican drug cartels next? Are they going to take out capture-kill operations for every single one? Go Pablo Escobar on these guys, all right? And by the way, you know...
And we're going to show you that in a moment. Trump has just put the Mexico president on notice saying that you're next. You either stop the flow of drugs into the United States or you're next. And he also just said that we will be very involved with who is the next leader of the Venezuelan government.
I know officially we say that the United States was not involved in that decapitation operation, but let's just say behind the scenes, people talk, all right? People talk about who actually took the shot on Pablo Escobar. All I'm saying right there. So we need to do that to every single one of these cartels and to the people like the president of Colombia and Sheinbaum down there in Mexico, who do play all this happy talk saying that they're partners of the United States, when in reality, we know that they are working hand in hand with the cartels, looking the other way while the cartels conduct the operations. The question is no longer up for debate. You will work with the United States or you will get Maduro'd.
You heard that. You will work with the United States or this is going to happen to you. You will get Maduro'd. Jim Barbado, let's go, brother. Shalom. I love it. Sure, brother Jim, some love in the chat, everybody, for his super chat. And if you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. Oh my goodness, guys, because like the news is dropping big time, okay? The next big piece that Trump says that we are going to be taking over. God, this is crazy, everybody. We are going to be taking over the country, essentially, of Venezuela. We will be very involved with what happens over there. And that we're going to be making sure, and I've got the part where Trump is on the phone right now, guys. Just one moment, okay? I'm pulling this over. All this stuff is happening. It's breaking news. My goodness, this is so nuts. But now he's taking aim at the president of Mexico. Listen to this.
Was this operation a message that you're sending to Mexico, to Claudia Sheinbaum, the president there?
Well, it wasn't meant to be, and we're very friendly with her. She's a good woman, but the cartels are running Mexico. She's not running Mexico. The cartels are running Mexico. And we could be politically correct and be nice and say, oh, yes, she is. No, she's she's very frightened of the cartels. They're running Mexico. And I've asked her numerous times, would you like us to take out the cartels? No, Mr. President. No, please. So we have to do something because we lost. The real number is 300,000 people, in my opinion. They like to say 100,000. 100,000 is a lot of people, but the real number is 300,000 people. And we lost it to drugs, and they come in through the southern border, mostly the southern border. Plenty come in through Canada, too, by the way, in case you don't know. But they come in through the southern border, and something's going to have to be done with Mexico.
Ooh.
Why did you decide to do this morning?
Are you talking about calling you people or the shot?
No, taking
because
out
I'm not sure.
Maduro.
I'm not sure which is worse. If you want to know the truth, I'm calling you. I haven't spoken to anybody else because Charlie Hurd has been a great friend of mine for a long time. He was with me when it was not fashionable, and those are the people I like. He was with me, Charlie, when it was not at all fashionable. So that's the reason I'm doing this. And your show is great. You're doing a great job. What a good team.
But I meant, why did you make the decision to take out Maduro this morning? And what was Maduro doing when our guys came in on him?
So we were going to do this 4 days ago, but the weather was not perfect. The weather has to be perfect. And we had just the perfect weather. We had, very good. A little bit few more clouds than we thought, but it was good. We waited 4 days. We were going to do this 4 days ago, 3 days ago, 2 days ago. And then all of a sudden it opened up and we said go. And I'll tell you, it was just amazing. And what was he doing? He was in a very highly guarded, like a fortress, actually. He was in a fortress. That we had nobody killed was amazing. I think we had nobody killed, I have to say, because a couple of guys were hit, but they came back and they're supposed to be in pretty good shape. But that we had nobody killed, that we lost no aircraft. Everything came back. We got it all back. One of them was hit pretty hard, but a helicopter, but we got it back. But it just was the right time.
I want to show you this too, guys, because this is also big breaking news. So this woman, Maria Machado, said, again, it's time for freedom has arrived. Nobel Peace Prize laureate and Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Machado hailed the arrest of the Venezuelan president Nicolas Maduro and called for Edmundo Gonzalez Urrutia to immediately be recognized as the nation's leader. Nobody is going to be the leader of Venezuela unless they're basically cool with Trump. Because Trump wants the oil, everybody. Trump wants, again, the number one thing is we got to stop the dying. We got to stop all the killing with the drugs and whatnot. But this is no joke, okay? Don't be naive to think that Trump doesn't want, if getting a hold of Venezuela, we're going to get a hold of this oil, the largest oil reserves in the world. We are going to start selling that to other countries. The United States will take a piece of it. And guess what? This is, again, making America great again, making America first. We built the Panama Canal. There's a lot of things that we've given up over the years. And now President Trump is taking back a lot what was meant for the United States of America. Okay? This is some real stuff that when you look at our president, Biden would never even fathom of doing this because it takes a backbone of steel to truly do this and put America first. Stopping the drug inflow, getting back the Panama Canal, getting involved with the oil that's down there, allowing U.S. companies to go in and take over and actually start doing good production of the oil and getting it out and then being able to sell it. This is big, big stuff that's happening. Kim Jordan, thank you so much, Kim, for your support. Let's go. Show Kim some love in the chat, everybody. Anna Diaz, thank you so much for your support. Say great morning, all. Proud American here. The administration is doing their thing for the American people. Amen. Linkar, welcome to the family. Lynn KR, welcome to the family. Show some love in the chat. Our boy Jim Barbato with the super chat, brother. Thank you so much. Truth Warrior, thank you so much for being a member. Guys said it's great that we've arrested a corrupt criminal dictator, but we have not made any arrests for any corrupt treasonous politicians in our own country. Amen to that. And Truth Warrior, I just want to say, guys, give it up to Truth Warrior. Gave us such an amazing gift that was sent to the True Life News family. It's going to go up back there. Didn't have time this morning to do it just because of schedules, but I will get it up for the next video. Thank you so much, Truth Warrior, for your gift. You are truly, truly I'm just so blessed to have you as a part of the family. Show Truth Warrior some love in the chat, as well as our boy Jim Barbato some love in the chat, everybody. Oh my goodness. And again, what Trump's about to say next, guys, I'm telling you, so much is going on, but you're hearing it from the man himself.
To do it. We had to do it because it's a war. We're losing 300,000 people a year. We don't lose that much in a war. Okay, if you look. And we had to do it. He didn't get into that. We were prepared. We had, massive blowtorches and everything else that you need to get through that steel.
Holy smokes.
But we didn't need it. He didn't make it to that area of the house.
Real quick, guys, because again, all this is going to be happening real fast. Colombia openly comes out in support of Venezuela. Of course, Colombia does. The Colombia president has called for an emergency United Nations meeting to stop the U.S. invasion. Let me tell you this. You think the United States is going to answer to the United Nations, the most woke DEI organization out there that doesn't do a dang thing? Yeah, not going to happen. They can have all the meetings they want. You're not going to tell the United States of America what to do.
President, your war on narco-terrorism from our southern border and beyond clearly will save American lives. Moving forward for Venezuela, what do you think is next for the Venezuelan people now that you have removed Maduro so that he can face American justice?
Well, we're making that decision now. We can't take a chance on letting somebody else run and just take over where he left off. So we're making that decision now. We'll be involved in it very much. And we want to do liberty for the people. We want to, have a great relationship. I think the people of Venezuela are very, very happy because they love the United States. They were run by essentially a dictatorship or worse. It couldn't have been worse. It was a terrible thing that was taking place in Venezuela. But look, tremendous numbers of people were being killed through drugs. And what they did to our country in sending prisoners and people from mental institutions and drug lords and everything. They sent them by the hundreds of thousands of people into our country. And that is just unforgivable. That's why, he wanted to negotiate at the end, and I didn't want to negotiate. I said, nope, we got to do it. He was trying to negotiate at the end. You probably saw that. And trying hard to make a deal. And I said, this could have been a very foolish thing if it didn't work out. But I said, nope, we can't do it. What he did with drugs is bad. What he did with a lot of other things is bad. But what he did was sending hundreds of thousands of Tren de Aragua and drug dealers. And they emptied out their jails into our country. They emptied out, if you think about it, they emptied out all of their mental institutions into...
Guys, I'm telling you, this is so insane, okay? Because again, the next part, which is going to be a big one, everybody, trust me, all this breaking news, we bring you the most breaking news. This is real. This has happened. Trump with this image, with this posting, everybody, has just told the world, if you mess with the United States, we will take you out, okay? In my heart, I'm just dang. I woke up and I get these notifications. Stuff was happening through the night. And I'm just like, what? No way. No way. Did we just go and capture a president from another country? Holy smokes. So again, the biggest thing right now is that Trump has announced, number one, that Maduro will face justice. Number two, we're going to run Venezuela till they get a good and great democracy. Number three, we're going to take over their oil business, essentially, and put American businesses in there so they can run how the oil and do it the right way to actually work. Then, number four, we will put boots on the ground to make sure that things are good. So let me know your thoughts, guys. You're about to hear the man himself. Listen to this.
Mr. President. Mr. President. Mr. President. Mr. President. Running the country. Mr. President.
You said that the U.S. is going to run Venezuela. So who's in power right now?
But we're going to be running it with a group, and we're going to make sure it's run properly. We're going to rebuild the oil infrastructure, which will cost billions of dollars. It'll be paid for by the oil companies directly. They will be reimbursed for what they're doing, but that's going to be paid. And we're going to get the oil flowing the way it should be. As you know, it was just a minor flow. It was actually a minor flow for what they have. But we're going to run it properly, and we're going to make sure the people of Venezuela are taken care of. We're going to make sure the people that were forced out of Venezuela by this thug are also taken care of.
Guys, I got some images to show you in just a moment of the actual images of President Trump and the team while all this was happening at like 1 o'clock in the morning. This is images of Trump and the team. I'm going to show you in a moment, but I'm telling you guys, holy crap. This makes me super proud because they look like bad you know what. These guys staying up late at night. You would never have seen Biden do this. I'll show you in just a moment.
Mr. President, does the U.S. running the country mean that U.S. troops will be on the ground? How will that work?
Well, you know, they always say boots on the ground. Oh, so we're not afraid of boots on the ground if we have to have. We had boots on the ground last night at a very high level, actually. We're not afraid of it. We don't mind saying it. But we're going to make sure that that country is run properly. We're not doing this in vain. This is a very dangerous attack. This is an attack that could have gone very, very badly. Could have gone very badly. We could have lost a lot of people last night. We could have lost a lot of dignity. We could have lost a lot of equipment. The equipment is less important, but we could have lost a lot. And we're going to make sure that this is proper. We're there now. We're ready to go again if we have to. We're going to run the country right. It's going to be run very judiciously, very fairly. It's going to make a lot of money. We're going to give money to the people. We're going to reimburse people that were taken advantage of. We're going to take care of everybody. It's very important. We couldn't let them get away with it. You know, they stole our oil. We built that whole industry there, and they just took it over like we were nothing. And we had a president that decided not to do anything about it. So we did something about it. We're late, but we did something about it. Yeah, please.
All right, I want to show you these pictures because these are some of the coolest pictures you'll see. This was at between 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning. President Trump and the team waiting, watching, and getting updates on the attack as it was happening. And look, no way. Guys, okay. They've got X literally in the background. They're on the Chrome. They're on X. What a G, guys. If you appreciate this, hit the thumbs up like button. We do have some updated response from other leaders in Venezuela. Breaking said Venezuela has announced a permanent mobilization of its armed forces in response to the United States. U.S. forces could face a guerrilla-style conflict similar to the Vietnam War, but they are, it says, in a permanent mobilization of its armed forces against the United States. We'll see how that goes down. Thank you so much, Linda Foe. Thank you so much, OG of the family. Let's go, said Joel's Canada. Joel's Canada's Alberta, Saskatchewan are looking to become the 51st and 52nd state. Let's go. I would love it. I would love it. Hey, Canada's got a lot of oil too that we could utilize, and everybody can win.
The exact mechanism by which you're going to run the country? Are you going to designate a U.S. official to coordinate?
It's all being done right now. We're designating people. We're talking to people. We're designating various people, and we're going to let you know who those people are.
I think Marco Rubio has already got like 5 positions. I think he's going to be the president of Venezuela.
That would run Venezuela.
Well, it's largely going to be, for a period of time, the people that are standing right behind me.
Ooh, I told you.
We're going to be running it. We're going to be bringing it back. It's a dead, I talk about a dead country. A year and a half ago, we were a dead country. Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're a country doing better than any country anywhere in the world. And it required leadership. Venezuela has a lot of bad people in there, a lot of bad people that shouldn't be leading. We're not going to take a chance that one of those people take over for Maduro. So you can look at, and others. We have fantastic people, including people in the military. So we're going to have a group of people running it until such time as it can be put back on track, make a lot of money for the people, and give people a great way of life, and also reimbursement for people in our country that were forced out of Venezuela.
Would be.
You said earlier today that you weren't going to back Machado to come back and be the opposition leader in your Fox and Friends interview. And then you also mentioned the vice president of Venezuela. Are you going to work with the vice president of Venezuela, or how do you foresee the relationship going?
I understand she was just sworn in, but she was, as you know, picked by Maduro. So Marco's working on that directly. He just had a conversation with her, and she's essentially willing to do what we think is necessary to make Venezuela great again. Very simple.
Mr. President, Colombian President Gustavo Petro, a couple weeks ago, he said he's got to watch his ass. And today, he said he's not concerned about anything happening to him in the aftermath of this operation. So, just what your message is about that.
He has cocaine mills. He has factories where he makes cocaine. And yeah, I think I stick by my first statement. He's making cocaine. They're sending it into the United States. So he does have to watch his ass.
Ooh, sorry, y'all.
Mr. President, did you notify any members of Congress in advance?
Marco, do you want to talk about that? Because you were involved in it.
Sure. We called members of Congress immediately after. This was not the kind of mission that you can do congressional notification on. It was a trigger-based mission in which conditions had to be met night after night. We watched and monitored that for a number of days. So it's just simply not the kind of mission you can call people and say, hey, we may do this at some point in the next 15 days. But it's largely a law enforcement function. Remember, at the end of the day, at its core, this was an arrest of 2 indicted fugitives of American justice, and the Department of War supported the Department of Justice in that job. Now, there are broader policy implications here, but it's just not the kind of mission that you can pre-notify because it endangers the mission.
Yep.
Plus, if I could add one thing to that, Congress has a tendency to leak. This would not.
What did I tell you, everybody? Why would you tell Congress? You can't trust Congress right now, guys. To me, Congress is so corrupt. The Senate is so corrupt. These people aren't for we the people. They take money, they spend it, no accountability. They go in and they constantly cause more regulations. They're bought off by lobbyists. I don't trust Congress to as far as you could throw them, okay? This right here is from the Commander-in-Chief, okay? Commander-in-Chief of the United States of America. We're sitting here on January 3rd, guys, and we're letting you know that whenever it comes to the President of the United States, if you have any intentions to hurt Americans, if you have any intentions to bring drugs in, if you have any intention of doing this, we will hold you accountable.
Be good. If they leaked, General, I think it would have been maybe a very different result. But I have to say, they knew we were coming at some point, you know. We had a lot of ships out there. They sort of knew we were coming. We went there. But Congress will leak, and we don't want leakers.
Mr. President, you were one of the only people to watch this all play out live. What was Maduro doing when the U.S. forces entered what I assume would be his home? And also, was there any point where the U.S. was considering if Maduro pushed back or resisted killing Maduro?
It could have happened. It could have happened. He was trying to get into a safe place. You know what a safe place is, all steel. And he wasn't able to make it to the door because our guys were so fast. They went through the opposition so fast. And there was a lot of opposition. You know, people were wondering, do we get them by surprise? Sort of surprised, but they were waiting for something. It was a lot of opposition. There was a lot of gunfire. You saw some of it today. But he was trying to get to a safe place, which wasn't safe because we would have had the door blown up in about 47 seconds, they say on average, regardless of how thick the steel was. It was a very thick door. It was a very heavy door, but he was unable to get to that door. He made it to the door. He was unable to close it. Go ahead, finish.
Where is Maduro going to be in the time being right now? Do you know his exact whereabouts?
Well, eventually, ultimately, in the near future, he's going to be brought to New York.
And where is he going to be held? Where is he going to be held in New York? Do you know?
That's going to be up to the officials that do these things.
Mr. President, the U.S. has something of a mixed track record of ousting dictators without necessarily a plan for what comes afterwards. Did that weigh on your decision?
Well, that's why we had different presidents, but with me, that's not true. With me, we've had a perfect track record of winning we win a lot. And we win, if you look at Soleimani, you look at al-Baghdadi, you look at the Midnight Hammer. Midnight Hammer was incredible. Right now, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. We have essentially peace in the Middle East because of that. If we weren't successful with Midnight Hammer, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. So, with me, you've had a lot of victory. You've had only victories. You've had no losses. Yeah.
President, can you? How long do you expect the U.S. to run Venezuela, and how soon do you want Venezuelan people to hold elections?
So I'd like to do it quickly, but it takes a period of time. You know, we're rebuilding. We have to rebuild their whole infrastructure. The infrastructure is rotted. It's actually very dangerous. It's blow up territory. Oil is very dangerous. It's a very dangerous thing to take out of the ground. It can kill a lot of people. It has killed a lot of people doing just that. The infrastructure is old. It's rotted. Much of it is stuff that we put there 25 years ago, and we're going to be replacing it.
Guys, this right here, I'm pulling this over right now. It is crazy how fast sides are being taken right now. I want to show you this again. This is from our Vice President, J.D. Vance. He said, public service announcement for everyone saying this was illegal. Maduro has multiple indictments in the United States for narco-terrorism. You don't get to avoid justice of drug trafficking in the United States because you live in a palace in Caracas. Okay? We've already had, there's already been, what is his name? Milei has come out from Argentina in support of President Trump. Israel has come out in support of President Trump. This is crazy, guys. Again, China is fighting us on this, and Elon Musk is on board with this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Jim Barbato, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. OG of the family, and our boy Mike Hackstrom, member of the family. Thank you so much for your support. Show Mike Hackstrom and Jim Barbato some love in the chat. There's a lot of talk, guys, going over right now. Right now, think about this right here, because this is some real numbers. Venezuela has the largest amount of oil reserves in the world. Right now, oil prices are trading at $57 a barrel. This would equate the amount of barrels that in all this of that Venezuela has to $17.3 trillion. $17.3 trillion with the T dollars. Oil prices double. This, if we take, and this is what's going to happen. Let me just go ahead because this is how it's going to play out. We're gonna go in there. We're gonna run Venezuela. We're gonna start operating their oil reserves. We're gonna start getting a cut out of their oil reserves, and in the next 5 to 10 years, we'll probably take in $2 to $3 trillion. Yes. From the operating and facilitating the Venezuelan oil economy. This will help Trump will sell this as helping to pay off our debt, our national debt, which is great. I love it. Venezuela will be a freer country because remember, Trump said that we will give money back to the Venezuelans that have been under this corrupt government. He said we will also make it more safe for them. So this all is happening again. Trump, remember, what has been his entire theme of his presidency has been stop the killing, no more wars. Stop the killing. Stop the drug trafficking. Stop the killing. We will fight together. We will win together to make sure that this doesn't happen anymore. Big stuff, everybody. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Give some love to, again, Jim Barbato with the super chat said shalom. I love it. Thank you to everybody who's watching. If you're not a part of the family yet, please consider joining our family, hitting that subscribe button, guys, because I'm telling you, I would never have imagined in my wildest dreams that this would have happened on the second day of the year, following into the third day of the year. But we're going to be here for it. We do a breaking news show every single day. Remember, when you donate on this channel, you're donating to a bigger cause, okay? We partner with you, and on the 22nd of every single month, we donate to a local charity live on stream with your support. Thank you so much to everybody that supports us. Last month in December, we gave $10,000 to children's homes, to crisis pregnancy centers, And every time you give, guys, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because this is truly making a difference. We're bringing the truth. We're showing you the facts, but we're also making a difference in children's lives. Show Papa Don some love in the chat, everybody. Thank you so much, brother, for your support. True Trustler, thank you so much. Kim Jordan, our boy Jim Barbato, OG of the family. Thank you so much, Jim, for your support. Anna Diaz, thank you so much, Anna, for your support. Lynn KR, welcome to the family. Y'all are so amazing. Show Jim Barbato and Anna some love in the chat, as well as Truth Warrior. Tomorrow, we'll have it up there, Truth Warrior. Thank you so much for your blessing. Show Lynn Defoe some love in the chat, everybody. Mike Hackstrom, Hapata Uaha. Thank you so much for your support. Said haters gonna hate, but never forget that Trump cares more about you than all the Democrats. Amen. Show some love in the chat. Thank you so much for sharing our videos on X and Facebook. We love you, appreciate you. We are here to serve you, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.